Hi everybody, it's Archie Rick from Archie Homesteader Channel. My wife Jeannie here is making fried green tomatoes. Now this is the very last of our tomatoes that we picked, and a lot of them are green. Some of them are turning a little bit. And she takes and dips them in egg, and then she dips them into a seasoned flour over here. And as soon as they get coated with the breading, then she puts them in hot oil, and we fry them up until they're kind of crispy brown. Now we're going to have that today, and we're also going to have some Navajo fry bread. And this is a recipe that I found in Arizona at a little roadside stop. There was a young Navajo woman with her little boy, and she was making fry bread, and she sold me the recipe for a couple bucks. And we're gonna, as we go along here, I'll have Jeannie film me as I make it. I'm letting my oil heat up. I take the bread, and I'll put out the recipe on the video, but it's basically flour and baking powder, a little bit of shortening, and some salt. Now I'll give you the actual ingredients here shortly. But I take and I mix all that up, and then I knead it real good, and then I take and let it rest for about I don't know, 2 hours underneath in a bowl with a towel over it, just like you do bread dough. And then I get it back out, knead it again, get a lot of flour on my hands and stuff, and I make these little balls. And as we go, I'll show you how we cook it up and finish it up. Boy, don't those look good. And we just kind of fry them in oil until they kind of get golden brown. And once they get to the, kind of a crispy golden brown, then we take them out, and we'll just set them on this plate here and let them drain a little bit, and then we're ready to eat. You can put a little salt and pepper on them, but we really enjoy it, and I think you will too. Not much to the recipe. Like I said, you just cut up your tomatoes about 1/4 inch thick, dip them in egg, and then dip them in flour with maybe a little, we put garlic salt in, a little salt and pepper, and bread them with that, and then stick them in the oil. And after a few minutes, they get brown like this, and man, that's good eating. I miss it in the wintertime. We try to can some green tomatoes, so in the wintertime we'll have them. But this year I didn't get around to it, so I'll be crying midwinter that I ain't got no green tomatoes. But it's good eating. Alright everybody, I'm doing the fried bread, the Navajo fried bread. I make the dough up, and then I put in little balls about tennis ball size, and I keep putting flour on it so it doesn't get sticky. I've rolled this one out, and then you take and put a hole in the center of it, and then you put it in your 350-degree oil, and you let it cook. And it cooks pretty quick. We'll just let it go here for a few minutes, let you see how it does. And what I do is, once it gets kind of golden brown, then it's ready. We just let her cook in the oil. And once I take it out, we sprinkle powdered sugar all over it. And that's one way you can do it. Some people just eat it plain, and others you can put honey on it. And you can also take and put meat and lettuce and tomatoes on it and kind of make like a burrito out of it. And I'm not quite sure why they put the hole in it. I think it keeps it from puffing up. But we always put that little hole in the center of it. And it's not quite ready yet. But it usually takes it just a couple of minutes to cook up once your oil's up to temperature.
If you go into Navajo recipes, you'll find all kinds of recipes on what to do with this bread.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of things with it. It's a traditional Indian bread. And what I do is I take and I roll these out, and flatten them out. Make sure there's a little bit of flour on the counter because they get a little sticky if you don't. And this way it ain't sticking to your fingers and stuff. And then I take and put a hole in it. Now that one's ready to cook as soon as I take this other one off. This one's almost ready. I'm going to try to turn it over. Let it cook a little more. Just as it starts turning light tan, then it's ready. Jeannie's cooking tomatoes with one hand and filming with the other. Yeah, it's coming along. Almost. I don't think I got my oil quite hot enough, but it's coming. Get some of these tomatoes out. They're cooking. I think those look pretty. I'm telling you, those are so good, I could eat a bunch. Probably not good for you, but I love them. They taste so good. I don't know, some folks have never eaten fried green tomatoes, and I started after I married my wife. She's from West Virginia, and she learned how to cook them, and I didn't know much about it. But this is just about ready. Yeah, this is ready. All right, I'm going to take it out. Let it drain a little bit and put it on paper towel, let it sit. And then we'll put another one on. Just let it cook. All right. Jeannie's putting on some more tomatoes. She's takes them and dips them in egg and then flour. So bread them up real good and then put them right into the oil. Fry bread's coming along good. It's about ready to turn over. Starting to cook now. See, the oil got hot. We just love it. I suppose it sounds like a silly concoction to eat for supper, but that's what we're having. We're having fried green tomatoes and Indian fried bread. Okay, here's one that's cooked a little better, just lightly golden brown. Got another one on. Tomatoes are almost finished. And we're going to just keep, we got quite a few of these, way more than we can eat. We'll probably take some to the neighbors. But we have a couple that lives near us that we share food back and forth like this. And they've always been real generous to us. And so when we got a little extra, sometimes we take it over to them. All right, we're almost finished. There's a couple of them that I've sprinkled powdered sugar on, and that's how we'll eat them. And Jeannie's finishing up the tomatoes, and those are almost done. We're about to have tomatoes and fried bread. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and God bless.